The World Cup kicks off in just under a month. It doesn't really feel the same though, does it? Because, well, it's kicking off in November. That is due to the fact Qatar are hosting the World Cup, and obviously it's too hot to play in the summer, so we're having a World Cup in winter. In my lifetime, I'm usually used to watching the World Cup in the summer, watching every single match. This year, I'm going to be watching England versus Iran in the school toilets. Now, you wouldn't put Qatar in the brackets of Brazil, Spain, Germany, all those great footballing nations. You wouldn't put Qatar there. In the comments, if you can name one footballer from Qatar, I would be amazed. Go give it a go though. Somehow they've got the World Cup and they don't have the facilities, so they've had to build 8 new stadiums to host this World Cup. Qatar is definitely a country associated with its wealth. To facilitate this World Cup, they spent $220 billion. That is absolutely crazy. They have built 8 new stadiums, and in this video, I'm going to be going through every single stadium. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Without wasting any more of your time, let's get into the video. Starting off with the Al Thamama Stadium, and you know I've pronounced that wrong. I'll pronounce almost every single one of these stadiums wrong. From the outside, it does look quite weird. It's literally a circle. It's definitely not the most appealing looking stadium. I mean, when you're spending $220 billion to facilitate this World Cup, you'd expect the stadiums could look a little bit nicer. Obviously, the most important part is the pitch and how many people can get in. 40,000, it's a reasonable number. 64 World Cup games on. 7 of these games will be in this stadium. 5 group games, 1 round of 16 game, and 1 quarter final. Now on to Stadium 974. That's a very creative name. At least I got the pronunciation right. From the outside, it looks like a classic football stadium. But in night, it looks absolutely fantastic. The outside of the stadium, it lights up, and it's around the water where it looks absolutely brilliant. It's a really fancy stadium with a classic design. It works really well. This stadium can host 40,000 fans. It will have 6 World Cup matches, 5 group games again, and 1 round of 16 match. I really do like this stadium. I know it has nothing to do with the stadium itself, but it's by the water, which really adds a nice touch when you're looking at it from an aerial view. Now we're on to the Education City Stadium, and this looks like the kind of stadium that would have been in those old Nike World Cup ads. You know, one of these really fancy stadiums. I don't know what shape the outside of it is. There's so many angles. It just looks really weird. Obviously, all these stadiums are very modern, but this one just looks like it's only just been built. It's really fancy, really futuristic. Like most of these stadiums, it hosts 40,000 people. It will have 7 World Cup matches. Again, 5 group stage matches, 1 round of 16 match, and 1 quarter final. The stadium looks really nice. The walkway into it looks really nice. The only complaint I have is it looks way too futuristic. Like I said already, it looks like one of those animated Nike ads with all the footballers. It just looks like something out of the future. Now onto the Khalifa International Stadium, and I'm hoping this stadium isn't named after Mia Khalifa, though that line of work is probably banned in Qatar. Don't really like the outside little bending bit with the colours. It just doesn't really look nice to me. And one thing I hate about football pitches is when the fans are just so far away from the pitch. There's quite a big gap of grass between the fans and the pitch, and I just hate that because it just doesn't generate as good of an atmosphere. This stadium is definitely the worst of the lot for me. Again, hosting 40,000 people. It'll again host 7 matches. This time though, 5 group stage matches, 1 round of 16, and the 3rd place playoff. Now onto the Ahmad Billy Stadium. This really isn't an attractive looking football stadium. It looks more like a UFO. I've complained about some of this stuff looking way too futuristic, which I know really isn't that much of a complaint. But this one doesn't even look like a football stadium. It looks like a UFO. Again, this stadium hosts 40,000 people, whether that be humans or aliens, I don't know. This time the fans are a lot closer to the pitch, which is obviously a good thing. Oh, maybe I'm just an idiot, but I don't know what the circular things on the outside are. I'm probably just an idiot. If someone could explain that to me, I would appreciate that. If that's a design thing, it's a terrible design. It looks absolutely terrible. It will host 6 World Cup matches, 5 group stage matches, and 1 round of 16 game. And these stadiums keep getting worse and worse. Elgin OB Stadium, obviously I'm pronouncing that wrong, but this stadium, it looks fantastic. It literally looks like the World Cup logo. I complained about some of the other ones looking too futuristic, but when this one is lit up, it looks brilliant. I'm actually a bit annoyed this one isn't hosting the World Cup final because it literally looks like the World Cup logo. You can tell it was especially built for the World Cup like all these stadiums were, but this one really says it. Again, we're seeing a bit of a pattern. 40,000 seats, 5 group stage matches, and 1 round of 16 match. I really like this stadium, my favourite so far. Now onto the OB Stadium. Again, apologies for the pronunciation. This one looks like a bloody pyramid. I don't know what's going on, but it's just not an appealing looking stadium. On the inside it is actually quite nice. Again, the pitch is nice and close to the fans, which again I really do like. That outside is just absolutely terrible. What is going on? What was the creative process there? Because I don't understand it at all. OB Stadium hosts 60,000 people. It will host 5 group stage matches, 1 round of 16 match, 1 quarter final, and 1 semi-final. I went to the Luso Stadium, and this one really says I'm rich. It literally looks like it's made out of gold. They're just showing off that they are billionaires. I said the whole World Cup cost $220 billion to make. That was probably $100 billion on its own. It's definitely actually made out of solid gold. From an angle looking from below, it literally looks like a swimming pool. This stadium hosts 80,000 people. As you'd expect, this stadium hosts the World Cup final, along with 5 group stage matches, 1 round of 16, 1 quarter final, 1 semi-final, and like I already mentioned, the final. It's hosting the World Cup final, and it's not even the nicest stadium Qatar have built. I get it hosts 80,000 people, and that is fair enough. It's the biggest stadium, it's the one they spent the most money on, it's probably made out of solid gold, just to show off that they are rich. It just looks like a massive fishing bowl. Honestly, what a waste of money. I would have rathered if they had it in the Elgin OB Stadium. That is a beautiful stadium. For me, my personal favourite. It just looks beautiful. It looks like the World Cup logo, which just feels like a World Cup stadium. And for me, the biggest stadium out of the lot. That hosts the 80,000 people. That hosts the World Cup final, the Lusail Stadium. It's in the name. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'm going to call it the Lusail Stadium because it's just a big loss. I know I'm already pronouncing it wrong, but I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to call it the Usail Stadium because it's just already taken all the L's. Like I already said, my personal favourite was the Elgin OB Stadium. It looks absolutely brilliant. It looks like a modern stadium and it does it well. Even though the World Cup is on in winter, it's not really going to be the same. I'm still excited for it. There's going to be a lot of hype. Make sure to subscribe if you are new because I'm going to be doing loads of content around the World Cup. Let me know in the comments your favourite stadium. I hope you all agree with me in the Elgin OB Stadium. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new and I'll see you in the next one.